Hello, and welcome back to All Things Podcasting, the podcast where we tell you all about podcasting. Today, I have Shannon, my right hand lady, my partner in crime, on the podcast with me. And she handles all of the tech stuff for our clients' podcast, all of the editing, all of the social assets. So today, we're going to give you guys kind of a breakdown of what the workflow looks like once we get the podcast episodes from our clients, what we then do with them, and how that process kind of works. So you can see from the back end of things, if you are managing a client's podcast or if you are managing your own podcast, kind of what those next steps look like after you record. So I'll let Shannon take it from here.
Thanks for having me today. So I just wanted to go over with you guys some of the software features that we use when editing podcast episodes. So I used to use a software called Audacity. It is free, but you don't get to use some like of the more advanced, awesome features with Descript, and I'll go over Descript in a little bit. But with Audacity, it's a very basic software system that you can use for your content. You can record, edit content, mix multi-track audio, add effects, and all that stuff. I have found with Audacity that because it does not transcribe your content or remove filler words, it does take a little bit more time for the editing process. Also, with Audacity, it does not save your file. So once you have completed the editing process, then you download the file and then you upload it through Google Drive into folders, but then it does not save it in the system. So that is one downfall with Audacity. So if you're like me and you accidentally screw up and you delete your file, then unless you can recover that file, then you have to, redo it. And time is money and we don't have time. So Descript is the software system that I use now. Descript is an all-in-one software editing tool that I use for literally everything. You can record your episodes, transcribe and edit the video and audio content, and use different features to help improve the sound quality. Once I have the audio and video uploaded, I transcribe the episode. By having the transcription, one, it helps with making the editing process that much easier to be able to like highlight words and cut them out. Also, it can be used for like turning into a blog post, and we'll go more into all of that and social media assets in a later episode. But once the transcription is ready, then I add the studio sound effect. This effect reduces background noises, echoes, and overall just improves the quality. Then I go through and make edits to the episode. So removing filler words such as buts, repeated words, things like that. There is a feature in Descript that automatically does this for you. It removes all the filler words, but it also removes extra quiet space that is needed to make the sentence still sound good. So if, you or your client is talking, you still want it to sound natural and flow together well. So, for example, sometimes like if your client is talking fast, then the word runs into the next word. So Descript will remove that but then it will like cut the next word next to it. Sometimes it is okay for those filler words to be there. We're human, so consider them as those perfect imperfections. You'll get to know your client and the way they speak, so the words will stand out and you'll be able to quickly identify them and edit them out. And if you delete a word or a section or something accidentally and you need to get that back, you can always restore words. You can always get those back. Not a big deal. Another feature in the script that I like using is I can add like side comments. So if I'm having a difficult time editing something and I'm stuck on it, then I just highlight it, add a comment, so then I can follow back up, and try to fix it. Or if I like something and I want to use it for a social post, then I can add a comment to it so I can easily find it later when creating those assets. Then once you're editing, you can download the episode and it is ready to be scheduled on the platform that you're using. And also with Descript, you can save your file. And I like to have different folders for each episode. So then I have one folder for episode 2, and the video is there, the audio is there, all the social assets and video clips and stuff that I want are all together and saved.
Awesome. Thanks, Shannon. Shannon can like go into the script and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I don't even understand it half the time. But like something really cool is as we're recording this episode right now in Descript, and as we're recording it, it's typing up a transcript for us. So like when Shannon goes back to edit this episode, she can just go in and edit the words and that automatically edits the audio. So it makes it really easy to like cut things out. It's almost like working in a Google Doc where it smart updates, but it's editing the audio and the video as you're editing words out. So it makes that whole process really simplified and eliminates the learning curve of like in Audacity, all you see is a sound wave. And so you have to listen and re-listen and go back and make sure it sounds right and make sure you cut out the right part. So it really eliminates all of that trial and error and like learning what certain words look like on the sound wave. Like when we used Audacity, both of us could tell what the word was in a sound wave. Like it's just so crazy what you edit that way for so long. Descript gives you a whole transcript, so it makes it easier. Editing your podcast episodes does take 2 to 4 times the length of your episode. Descript makes that faster. So you're more in like
For sure.
2 to 3 hour range instead of hitting that 4-hour range. If you're totally new to Audacity, I mean, I remember when I first started podcast editing, spending 4 hours on a 45-minute episode. There's such a steep learning curve and like figuring out how all the buttons work and what different things do and going back and listening to things over and over again.
It can definitely be overwhelming. And we do have in our DIY course, we do walk through all of these steps that we're talking about with you too. So, if you guys are interested in learning how to, work Audacity because it's free, or even Descript, we have all of that for you.
Like Shannon said, the DIY Your Podcast course has everything for how to edit in both Audacity and Descript. So it gives you options. The one thing with Descript is we do pay $24 a month for it, where Audacity is free. But that $24 a month is for the pro account. You can get a creator account for $12 a month. But we really like the pro account because it allows us to do a lot of cool stuff with social assets and just gives us a huge list of features. Plus, we edit so many podcasts that takes our transcription limit up to 30 hours a month. So we need that to be able to handle all of our clients' podcast episodes. I interrupt this podcast episode to bring you a quick ad for our Podcast Accelerator membership. If you're ready to magnetize and monetize your podcast, then the Podcast Accelerator membership is right for you. It contains everything that you or your VA need to know in order to promote and profit from your podcast. It includes things like graphic templates, caption templates, and how-to videos for things like audiograms, videograms, quote graphics, static graphics, IGTV, and SEO-rich blog posts. It includes a promotional strategy roadmap of what to post, when, where, and why, templates and videos for planning podcast episodes that are optimized for action, descriptions and show note templates for YouTube and podcasting, accountability for creating and publishing content, strategies and templates for monetizing your podcast, a private Facebook group for members only for them to connect and ask questions. This membership is everything that you need to grow and monetize your podcast. We are even going to do bonus trainings like how to get guest spots on podcasts, how to get guests on your podcast, and other fun things. Basically, if you ask for it, we'll deliver. All of the templates allow you to really streamline your podcast marketing so that you can get as much content as possible out of your podcast, but also not spend hours creating it. Check out the show description for a link to the membership. So once these episodes are recorded and edited, we then take that final episode that is complete and done. We add the intro and outro to it. And then we upload it into both Google Drive as a finished file so that we always have it and can always go back to it if we need it. And we also upload it to Libsyn. And Libsyn is a hosting platform. There's other hosting platforms out there like Buzzsprout and Anchor. We like Libsyn because they have been around the block. They know what's up. They are tried and true. They're not still sorting things out. A lot of people are jumping on the Kajabi podcast hosting bandwagon right now. And I've heard a lot of people come back to their previous hosting from Kajabi because they just haven't been in the game long enough to really have all of the kinks worked out. So Libsyn is kind of one of the original hosting platforms, super simple and easy to use. And basically what a hosting platform is the home for your podcast. So each week after your episode is edited, you will upload your podcast audio file to Libsyn, put in a title, put in a description, and then hit publish, and it will automatically publish that episode to all of the places. So it'll publish it to Spotify and Apple and iHeartRadio, everywhere that you've submitted your RSS feed to. That's a whole nother train. Libsyn automatically submits to several platforms. Spotify and Apple are the biggest two that and Pandora are the biggest ones that you have to go in and manually submit it. And that just requires taking your RSS feed and putting it into those platforms. They have specific websites to submit podcast episodes, making sure that all of the information for your podcast is aligned with their requirements. Again, all of this information is laid out in detail for you inside the DIY course. So if you have that, all the information is there for you. So after you have recorded and edited, you upload to Libsyn, you schedule your episode out for whatever day that you want, and then it's up and out and into the world. So that's just kind of the basic overview of what we do from editing to posting the podcast episode and scheduling it. Our next episode is going to be all about creating the social assets and blog post and show notes and things like that to promote the podcast episode once it goes live. So thanks, Shannon, for coming on and
Yes.
telling everybody all of your magic.
Thanks for
juju.
having me. And if you guys have any questions on anything, feel free to reach out. You can send us a DM, send us an email.